Okay, so today in part 3 of hyperbolas, just like we did with the ellipse, the first 2 days we were graphing it. Today we're going to be creating the equation and then graphing it. Okay, so we've given you pieces of information from the hyperbola, and then we're going to use that to figure out what our equation is, and then we can graph it. Okay, so in the first problem we have, they give us the vertices and they give us the focus. Okay, so one of the easiest things to do is to actually graph these. So the vertices is at 2, 1. So this is the vertices they give me. And the focus is at 2, -3 plus 20. Well, the square root of 20 is a little more than 4. It's in between 4 and 5. So basically, if you go to 2 and then -3, 1, 2, 3, and then count up 4.5, 1, 2, 3, 4.5, puts my focus point right there. Okay, now let's see what we got. Well, first of all, since my focus and my vertex right here are vertical from each other, that means I'm dealing with a vertical hyperbola, which means it opens up and down. Okay? Because if it were horizontal, if the vertices was here, the focus would have to be left or right of the vertices. So I know I'm dealing with a vertical one because my focus and my vertex are vertical from one another. Okay? Which means that if this is a vertical hyperbola, that means this focal equation is h comma k plus or minus c. Which means right off the bat, we know that h is 2, because we need h. H is 2, and k is -3. So that means we know our center. Our center is at 2, -3. Okay? That also tells me a lot about my vertices, because my vertices equation is h comma k plus or minus a. So that means that this 2, 1 point, this 1, came from me adding something to -3. And what did I add to -3 to get 1? 4. So I know A is 4. Now, all I need to do is find B. That's all I need left to find my equation. Okay? Well, the only other piece of information they gave us is C. We know that C is the square root of 20. And the square root of 20 came from this, a squared plus b squared. And since we already know that basically a squared is going to be 16, that means that 20 equals 16 plus b squared, right? Which means that b squared is 4, and then b is 2. So I'm just working my equations backwards. So now that I know everything, I can set up my equation. So my equation, since it's vertical hyperbola, y comes first. So it'll be y plus 3, because k is -3. A always comes first, so this is 16. X minus 2, because h is 2. And b always comes second, so b squared is 4. So there's my equation. As I was doing all this, we also found our center. So we know that our center is at 2, -3. 1, 2, 3. So this is the center. And the vertices are the same distance from the center. So since this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's my vertices. And then my other focus will be right here. And since I found B to be 2, for my center I go over 2 and 2. I create my box, my rectangle, using the vertices in B. Draw my asymptotes. And then draw my hyperbola. It goes like this, it goes like that. And this one will go like that, and that will go like that. So basically, we're doing the same thing we've done for the last 2 days as far as graphing goes, but we have to find the equation or use the information that they've given us to find the other pieces of information, okay, to graph it. Okay? Not too difficult. Now, the second problem, we're going to work it the same way. Okay? So they give us our vertices. Okay? And they give us our asymptote equation. Okay, so I'm going to graph my vertices. Negative 7, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here. And then they give us our asymptote equation. Well, let's look at our asymptote equation real quick. This equation, whether it's vertical or horizontal, has our center in it. It has h and k in it. So either way, it's going to be k plus or minus, and that changes, but it's x minus h. So this right here is k, and this is h, which means I know where my center is. My center is at negative 2, 4. Okay, so I'm going to graph my center 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So since this is my center and my vertices is over here, that means that this equation is horizontal because my center, my vertices is to the left of my center. And since I now know it's horizontal, that means that I also know my A and B, because in my actual asymptote equation for horizontal, B is going to be 4 and A is going to be 5. So A is 5, B is 4. Also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The vertices is 5, so you also know A. So this is 25. This is 16. This is going to be x plus 2. Since it's horizontal, x comes first. This is going to be y minus 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my other vertices. I'm going to use B to create my box. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4 down there. Like that. Which means my asymptotes look like this. Like that. And then my curve, since it's horizontal, will open left and right. For my students, the code today is going to be 4PC 4LC question mark. 4PC 4LC question mark. Now the only thing left to do in this problem is find my focus. So to do that, I need C, which is going to be the square root of 25 plus 16, which ends up being the square root 41. So my focus are going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 41, comma 4, which puts them right here. Basically between 6 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There. Like that. Okay? And that's basically all there is to it. Okay, you just got to figure out the information that they've given you to find your H, K, your A, your B. Work the equations backwards using your formula chart. And then at that point, it's basically what we've done the last 2 days in graphing them.